All right, so today I wanted to talk to you guys about changing your perspective and attitude in order to get on the path of success. See, Jesus's first job when taking on his disciples and teaching them was to first change their perspective. In Luke chapter 6, verse 22, it said, "Blessed are you when men hate you and when they exclude you." Like, what? Huh? I'm a new disciple and you're telling me, blessed are you when men are going to hate me? What? And when they exclude you and revel you and cast out your name as evil for the Son of Man's sake, for my sake, in Jesus' name. Rejoice in that day and leap for joy, for indeed your reward is great in heaven. Now, what the heck does that mean? That you're embarking on this new journey and that men are going to hate me. They're going to want to exclude me. They're going to want to revel you in my name for the sake of my name. Well, what does that mean? You know, before any great idea or great invention has become self-evident in this world, every great idea has gone through 3 stages. Write these down. Number 1, that idea first went through ridicule. What are you talking about? Health insurance, prepaying for health insurance. I've got a doctor that comes to my house with a black bag and I pay him with a chicken. What do you mean I need to pay, X amount of dollars per month in case I get hospitalized or need something like that? So every idea first goes through ridicule. Great idea. And like, what do you mean I need a cell phone? I've got a payphone on every corner. I've got my house phone. I've got a phone in the work. Why do I want to carry around a cell phone and talk to people all the time? I want to enjoy my life when I'm not on the phone. So I'm not going to buy a cell phone. Ridicule. I remember that's the first stage. And then violently opposed is the second stage. Then it gets violently opposed. I remember being in college. I guess this shows you how old I am. I was in college at George Washington University in, let's see, what year is it? I think this was like in the year 2000. And the cell phones were becoming a big thing. And I remember saying to myself, oh, heck no, I'm never going to get a cell phone. I'm not going to be like one of those girls that's always talking on the phone, walking down the street, thinking she's so cool, And and of course, here I am. If I don't have my cell phone when I leave the house in my car, I'm 10 miles down the street, I turn around and drive 10 miles home and go get my phone because we can't live without it. But the idea at first was ridiculous. I would make fun of these girls and then I was violently opposed to it. Heck no, never going to do it. But then all of a sudden, the idea becomes self-evident, where it is obvious that there is a true need for what you're doing and for the mission that you're a part of. And it is self-evident that this works, I met today with one of my great friends from 16 years ago. We were in a first Bible study together from my church at Saddleback Church. She's an amazing friend, and she's watched me in my journey in business. And she brought me her 18-year-old son today because she wanted him to join me in the business. She wanted me to teach him what she watched me go through. And it became self-evident that it works, that it's working, and that everyone needs to have this. And I know everyone, and so that was a huge compliment today. She would trust me with her 18-year-old son to want to develop him into the man that she knows that he can be and to become an entrepreneur. And so when you get into the world of entrepreneur, when you get into business, into the world of success, the first thing you want to do is inoculate the people that you lead. Inoculate them. Luke chapter 6, verse 22, again, blessed are you when men hate you and when they exclude you because they don't understand. What did Jesus say when he was on the cross? Father, forgive them, for they don't know what they're doing. But then days later, the same men or guards that may have been around when he was being beaten to death on the cross, later then, when he rose from the dead, and were there to witness his grave being empty said, my God, he really is the Son of God. He really is the Lord. After, right? It becomes self-evident. So first ridicule, then the second stage is every great idea violently opposed, and then self-evident. So we have to inoculate the people that we lead and let them know. In fact, I have a friend who's a Jehovah's Witness, and they tell me that before they send their missionaries, the missionary boys, they're 18 years old. You turn 18, it's time for you to go out on mission and start knocking on doors, right? And they train the Jehovah's Witness boys and now young women going out to knock on the doors and to preach the gospel and their mission, and they prepare them. You're going to have your door slammed in your face. You're going to have people spit on you. You're going to have people tell you that you're wrong and that you're wrong for believing those things. You're going to have people that think you're cuckoo and crazy, and they inoculate them. So when they go out into the world, they're prepared. So one of the things that I said to my friend's 18-year-old son is, I'm so excited for you. You're going to be retired by the age of 23. Because that's what happened to me. I started at 24, and after the age of 29, if I never worked a day in my life, I would be self-sufficient on the passive income from the business that I started. However, I told him, your friends are not going to understand. They're not going to understand you. They're going to throw beer cans at you. They're going to tell you, why don't you go get a regular job and flip burgers with me at In-N-Out and McDonald's? They're just not going to understand. And there's nothing wrong with those jobs. It's a great place to start, right? But you can, in addition, step out and become an entrepreneur. And so he got it. He got it. He left there being inoculated, knowing that when he starts to share his business with people, that not everyone's going to get it. Okay, the second thing is attitude. As a great leader, great leaders teach attitude, help them change their perspective, right? So inoculation, then attitude, and then perspective. But let's talk about attitude. One of my mentors, Darnell Self, I love him. He is a leader of leaders. And Darnell Self is famous for teaching his team how to be instead of teaching his team what to do. Everyone knows what to do. Follow this formula. Do step 1, step 2, step 3, success. Okay? But Darnell Self teaches his team how to be, how to say yes, ma'am, how to say no, sir, no, thank you, please, and thank you, how to show up early, because early is on time and on time is late. How to open the door for people. Now, this is how to be, right? Now, these are things that might seem obvious, like how to be a courteous and polite adult, but these things need to be taught, guys. We can't assume that people understand kind and caring and love for neighbors unconditionally and showing humility and grace and politeness and professionalism, right? We can't assume that everyone that comes to business understands these things. These things need to be taught. And he teaches them how to have a positive mindset and attitude. So he says, don't get frustrated, get motivated, right? He teaches people instead of being upset with people, be curious. If someone says something offensive to you, be curious, because there's a reason why someone is acting negatively. Something happened in their life that is causing them to just not be loving and supportive because of the trauma that may have happened to others in their lives. He teaches people attitude. And then the third thing you want to teach in leadership to the people that you lead is perspective. Jesus, his first job was to change their perspective. Blessed are you when men hate you and exclude you and cast out your name for the Son of Man's sake, for his sake. He changed their perspective to understand. And in business, short-term, what do they say? Short-term pain for long-term gain, right? You got to change someone's perspective to understand. Short-term, working hard and sacrificing now so you can have the success and from the fruits of your labor forever. Where the masses are wanting to do the opposite. They're wanting to have pleasure now. They're wanting to have it now. They're wanting to play now. But you can play now, you can pay now and play later, or you can play now and pay later. But either way, you're going to have to pay. And so you can change your people's perspective, which helps them weather the storm. Because when you step up to the counter of success, expect to pay full retail. And so here in this business, it's a business of masses versus the classes. Meaning, if you want what the classes have, avoid what the masses do, right? If you is it the minority or the majority that are independently wealthy at the age of 65 and completely retired on their own support? And no, it's the masses that are dependent on the federal government, family, and friends for aid and support to survive. That's the masses, right? It's only a small percentage of people that stepped out of their comfort zone to do something different in order to set themselves up financially for the rest of their lives. Are the masses employees, or are they entrepreneurs? Is it the minority or the majority to be an entrepreneur? It's the minority to be an entrepreneur. Not everybody gets our world. And so if you just change your perspective to understand that the ridicule, the being violently opposed, it is part of stepping out and doing something different. And eventually, there is not one friend or family member now that tells me that I'm crazy. When I first started, they told me that I was crazy for stepping out and starting a business and doing my thing. But now nobody tells me I'm crazy. They say, can you loan me money? That's what they say. That's what they say now. No, but oh my goodness, I was with my good friend, Mr. Self, in Las Vegas at a leadership convention. The company flew us into this weekend. And he says, we were at dinner, and he goes, oh Lord. He's like, my cousin just texted me. He goes, she lives in Los Angeles. We're in Las Vegas, which is 5 hours away. And she must have seen his post on Facebook that he's in Las Vegas, and we're at the Wynn. They put us up at the Encore Tower Suites at the Wynn, and which is a very, very nice hotel. And she must have seen my post, because she texted me, I see you're in town, I'm on my way. And so he's like, and so he called the hotel to have her name put on the room. So because we were out at dinner, so that way she would be able to come and just relax until we were done with dinner. And then later during the night, he goes, oh Lord, she just texted me. I feel like I'm a kid from Home Alone enjoying all this room service. What's my limit? That's what she said to him. What's my limit? Anyway, your friends and family might laugh at you in the beginning, but they won't be laughing for long. You need to stay the course as an entrepreneur. Stick to your guns. You've been educated about the better world, and that there is a better world out there. You've been educated about this, okay? You know that it exists. You just need to go through the fire. You just need to just be consistent, master the mundane of doing the same thing, the successful, action steps every single day to get there in order to have that, okay? And don't mind the ridicule. Don't mind the people throwing beer cans at you and spitting their bubble gum at you and stuff like that, thinking that you're crazy, talking behind your back to your other friends and family members. You know where you're going. And once your mind has been expanded because you've been educated that there's a better world out there, your mind can never go back. I love you guys. I'm so proud of you. That's it for this week. See you next week.